Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Kratos. Yes, it did show up, buddy. So let's get some people in here and let's get caught up on what's going on the Joe front. Is this even working? Hmm. All right. Seaway, hello. Prepared for Diane. Hi. Hi, everybody. All right, you can see me and hear me. That's all good then. Mountain Man, what's up? Where have I been? I'll let a few more people get in here, and then I'll talk about where I've been. Vacation. Mars from Newfoundland. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. But I'm still alive. I just wanted everybody to know that so I can leave now. I'm just kidding. It's been a couple weeks since I posted. Every now and then you get the just got to take a break from the old tube and pretty much all of social media. What's going on, Cherokee Man? How are you, bud? I just had to take a hiatus. Well, thank you. I missed all you guys too, but it's just been so crazy. My life has been so crazy the last couple weeks that I just couldn't. I just couldn't get everything together mentally to do this. So hopefully I'm going to be getting back in shape again. Hey Chris, what's going on, man? Christy, duh. Man, I tell you, I can't even see. Russell, what's going on? Hey Teresa. So what is happening in this crazy? I know it's just there's too much going on, and I got to cut out all of social media. I think we should suspend social media for a while. I hate to say that, but I think we should suspend it. Teddy, hey, Morgan's Adventure, what's going on, my man? How are you, buddy? But it was just every time I thought about doing a video, something different happens, and then something different happens, and it's been raining a lot out here. We got snow, we got nice weather, then we get snow, then we get rain. I have not done anything in the house. I haven't been motivated. Uh, it's just been really weird. And I'm going to tell you something really funny. This is like really weird, but I think, uh, all right, glad you're out to Great Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountain Off Grid, welcome. Teresa, yeah, Iran shut theirs down. I wish the United States would shut it down for a while. Uh, but I'm gonna tell you something that's kind of weird, and it had an effect on me, and I can't believe I let it have an effect on me. But in one of my last couple of videos or my last live stream, I talked about the fact that I didn't get hired by Lowe's. And never in my life have I ever gone on an interview and not got fired or got hired. I mean, I've never experienced that before. And it's really weird how something like that could affect a person. You know, somebody who, especially, I am so confident about everything. Everything I do, I know, you know, I just, I still cannot believe they wouldn't hire me. I have not figured that one out yet. But I do have another job. So I did get another job. And actually, it's a whole lot better of a job. So it does turn out to be, you know, the silver lining, I guess. But yeah, just I don't know. It kind of bugged me that you know I didn't get high. I just had never experienced that before. I started working when I was 15 years old, and I've worked every day of my life, and I have gone into places and convinced them that they needed to hire somebody like me. They didn't even know they needed me, and I could go in and get hired. You know, I've just been able to do that my whole life. So getting a rejection was, you know, a hard pill to swallow, even at 68. It's kind of weird. But I mean, just aside from that, I've just been in a general, I think it's the winter funk, winter blues, uh, you know. Cherokee man, I missed. What happened to your taxi cab job? The taxi cab job just, it turned out that was not my cup of tea after all. Um, it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it, but then it got to be, you know, not my favorite kind of job. I thought I would really like something like that long term, but I just didn't. So I wanted to find something else. And some of the policies with all the medical transportation stuff, it was starting to get to me. Um, how you got to deal with all that crap. So I gave him a notice, said I'll find something else. Hey Leroy, what's up, bud? But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and let everybody know I'm still alive, and I'm gonna get back in. I've been doing a lot of eBay stuff. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff I've been listing on eBay and selling on eBay. So I've been packing stuff and scanning. I don't know if you realize it or not, but when you sell books on eBay, it takes yeah, you got to dedicate quite a bit of time to scanning the books, researching the books, writing descriptions, you know, packing them up, shipping them out. Uh, so yeah, you definitely have to dedicate time to selling on eBay. I mean, I've been selling on eBay forever. I mean, I know how to do it. It just, like I said, it takes time. I can put, I don't know, I do 20 books, let's say. But will take me 4 hours, 5 hours to scan them, to research them, to make the listing, come up with pricing, research all of that, you know, and try to decide at what price to put that stuff up. It takes some time. Because I don't do anything half-assed. I like it done all the way. So let me tell you about this new job I got. This is the way the old Joe used to work. So this was really funny how this came about. I saw an ad on Indeed And I called them, and or I did my little resume thing on Indeed, sent it. Well, they called and uh, wanted to set up an interview. So we set up an interview. I'm not going to get into too much details of the job yet, but we did an interview. And I go down to the interview. Now, mind you, I had to fill all this shit out on Indeed because that's one of those companies that had all these questions. And I answered all those questions and my resume and turned that into them, sent it off. They called me for an interview. So I go in for the interview. You got to fill all that stuff out again. Even though they already asked you all that, you still have to, long form an application. And I'm sitting there talking to him, the guy that owns the company. And it's like, he's asking me these weird questions, right? It's like, well, what made you decide you wanted a career, with this company? And I said, I don't want a career with this company. I'm not looking for a career. I've had a career for 45 years. I'm looking for a 20-hour-a-week part-time job. It's not going to be a career, dude. They're hiring part-time. I don't understand it. But we had a good interview. We had fun. I mean, I think what part of the problem is I'm 68 years old now. And that I'm sure that has a play in things. But we did our thing. He said, well, you have to go online. We're going to send you this information. You have to take this assessment test, an integrity type test. What? And then our operations manager, she will call you and do a second interview. I'm like, okay, the job is for operations assistant, right? I mean, it's going out on sites and evaluating sites and training. I got to learn how to train people and interview people and stuff like that, right? So I go home and I start doing this assessment test. And what it is, it's they ask you the same question, 25 different variations of that question. And you have to answer strongly agree, no opinion, disagree, and strongly disagree. But it's the exact same question, just different verbiage, right? And there was like 6 different things it talked about. But you had all these questions around those 6 subjects. So I completed that and thought, boy, this is really stupid. So once I was completed, the next day, this operations manager, she called me. Must do the second interview. So we talked for a while. And I had to explain to her again. It's like, look, I'm trying to get a part-time job here. I'm not looking to make a career move. Why did you leave this company? Well, because I retired. Well, what'd you leave this company for? Because I started working part-time jobs. I said, look, I'm just looking for something I like now. I'm trying to build a house. I need extra money. It's a part-time gig. It's what I'm looking for. A couple years maybe. And so she said, okay, so here's the next phase of the review process. The guy told me when I talked to him on Wednesday that it generally takes a week to 10 days before you get through the whole process and they decide whether or not to hire you. Right? And I'm thinking again to myself, I'm like, it's a part-time gig. What are you talking about? So I get done with the interview, the second interview. Well, I have to go fill out this form online. They got all these online tests you have to do. And she said, we want to verify it's you and make sure we're talking to you. Like, I've never heard of such a thing in my life. But I had to go to this company, and what you have to do is, as far as I got, because I didn't go any further than this first part, But you have to list every address you've ever lived at. And if you were homeless, you had to put down the name of the shelter, uh, or where you were staying, that address. And I'm looking at this, it's like, okay, I moved to Wheeling 20 years ago. I bought a house. I've been in that house since I lived in Wheeling. That's the last 20 years. But I don't remember all of the addresses I've lived. I don't remember all the cities I've lived in. So I'm looking at this on the screen and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. So I texted this lady. I said, look, let me try to explain something to you. I'm not doing that form, right? Because what it is, they want to verify. They have some database that has places where you've lived in the past, and they want to see if you're lying about anything, right? Because they would have my addresses off of the credit bureau or IRS or somewhere. And if I forget to put down an address, they're going to be like, "Oh, what are you trying to hide?" Or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I just closed that out. I texted the lady back, said, look, I'm not going through this for a part-time job. I said, you guys are spending a tremendous amount of money and resources and time to hire somebody for a 20-hour week job. What are you doing? This is crazy. You know, I'm looking for a couple years to help you guys out. That's it. Why am I going through all of this? I'm not trying to get a job, in government or something. I don't know. I'm not trying to get a nuclear facility job. And I told her, I said, look, I'm not going through all of that. Not for this. I'm sorry. I appreciate, talking with you and meeting with the other guy, but I can't, I'm not going to follow through on this. I'm sorry. That was on Thursday. I texted her back that Friday morning. The original guy who owns the company called me to say, okay, we decided to formally offer you the position. It's like, are you kidding me? I just told you that it's crazy. I wasn't going to go through all that crap to do this for a part-time gig. It just made no sense to me. So I said, okay, I'll take the position. I mean, it's a good job. It's good money. I got to travel to these different sites that they work at. And like I said, do evaluations and evaluate the employees and help with hiring, interviewing employees and training employees. I got to go through all the training. But I mean, it'll be good. I get, paid by the mile plus the hour. So not too bad. But next Thursday, I have to go for training up in Follinsby, West Virginia, up north. And then the following week, on Wednesday and Thursday, I have to go down to Charleston, West Virginia, for training at the main office. But I get a company laptop, a company cell phone, a black box, they call it, my own file system to carry with me. And I get my hourly rate plus 50 cents a mile. And my mileage starts when I pull out my driveway. I'm at work. So I kind of like that. And it's only going to be, he says, probably going to average 20 to 24 hours a week. It might be 16 one week. It might be, 28 one week. I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. If I have to go somewhere where I stay overnight, they pay for the hotel, they pay for the food, they pay for all that kind of stuff. He said, you might have to do that once every couple of months. But just working right out of Wheeling. All right. So that's my job. Let's see what's going on. Verstech, yes, I'm still here, buddy. You can't get rid of me that easy. Tiny House, what's going on, my friend? Malachi's Corner, I am so glad you wandered in. But yeah, it's so weird because I text him back and tell him, look, I'm not doing all this stuff for you. I'm sorry. I cannot remember all the places I've lived in the last 50 years. So rather than try to guess and omit something, I said, the last thing I wanted you guys to do is to think I'm trying to be deceitful or something. So, no, it's not worth it to me to go through all of this. Yeah, no, they're putting the money up. I mean, I don't understand it. I hope I'm worth it. I mean, it's weird since I've been retired. The way I approach jobs now, where I retired from and the place I worked before that, I felt a duty to that company. I felt a loyalty to that company. And everything I did, I took the interest of that company into consideration because that was the relationship I had. I mean, that's how I worked. Well, now these are just part-time gigs with the security company, the cab company, the gas station. I loved those jobs. They were good jobs, but they just didn't fulfill me. I want a job that challenges me, and it's not sitting at a desk all day long telling people what hospital room somebody's in. That didn't interest me. That didn't challenge me enough. I think this will. Uh, so who knows? But they really, I mean, they really want to get me. I'm like, okay. The renovations, I haven't mentioned this when I first came on. Ernie, what's going on, bud? Uh, yeah, I checked out reviews of the companies. They're not that kind of a company to where they really get. I don't want to divulge too much information yet. Uh, but they're not a service kind of company per se, to where, you know, I mean, the company's been around since 1982. This guy's father started the company in 82, and they've grown now. They encompass 5 or 6 states. He started it there in Charleston. Um, and they have an office around the Wheeling area they want to go, and they're trying to set up things in Zanesville, Cambridge, this area out here. And I said, heck, that's perfect. When I move out to Cambridge, maybe you'll have some stuff out in this area, and I can continue right on working with you guys. And he thought that was a good idea too. Um, but I tried to explain to him after he called me back, after I told him I wasn't going to go through all that kind of crap. Um, I said, look, the problem with that assessment test and this test and these forms, you take the human side of hiring an employee out of it. Do you realize what you're missing out on? I spent 20 years in management. I hired people, I interviewed people, I fired people. If I had to fire somebody that I hired, that really bothered me because I tried to figure out where I went wrong. I saw something in them that made me hire them. And if that didn't work out, I had to try to figure out, okay, where did I go wrong? What did I do that, I took part of the culpability of that person not working out. I was responsible for. So I said, you have to hire people like that. Sometimes you have to just go with your gut. If you think somebody's going to work out, don't worry about what this stupid test that you paid $200 to have some company do for you. That's when you lose. You no longer have a company of employees. You just have commodities that you buy. And I'm not into that. Maybe that's the new way of doing it. Um, Who knows? But like I said, I start next week. My first day of training up near Follansbee or Weirton or somewhere. And then, like I said, I got to go to Charleston. They want me down there on Wednesday and Thursdays. They'll put me up in a hotel room. I can come down Tuesday if I want. That way I'm there Wednesday morning, or I can drive down Wednesday morning. Uh, I'm dealing with truck shop. Oh no, Malachi's Corner. Wow. Our truck was in the shop, only 800 fixes, so I'll take that better. Oh, heck yeah. Absolutely. That was the thing he asked me, do you have reliable transportation? I'm like, well, I got 3 cars actually, so one of them should be working if I'm needed. But it's one of those jobs, I won't have a schedule. He said, if you have anything planned for the week, you tell us on Friday if you have anything, and we'll make sure that day we don't ask you to go somewhere or go check something out. You know, we'll work around whatever your schedule is. I'm like, wow, these guys must really want me after I told them that. $1,800 and oh my gosh, can't, oh wow. Man. But I'm gonna get back into the buildings again. I mean, you know, like I said, I've just been kind of bummed out for a couple of weeks. Between the weather here, we had nice days, we had snow, we had rain, you know, everything, and I get, you know, burned out. I need a break from that once in a while. And I need a break from making videos, trying to figure out what to make a video about, you know, blah, blah, blah. I love making videos, but sometimes it gets to be a pain in the butt. And it just, I've been, like I said, I've been doing a lot of eBay stuff. I've been trying just to chill. And then every day on the news, I'm tired of all of the world, actually. Now, is that your truck, Kim? Or if the truck's not working, you don't get to work? The snowplow took out my mailbox on New Year's Day. Oh no, that is not the best way to start out the new year, I think. Oh, so no vehicle for, oh wow. Yes, we're chilling, waiting on weather to flip, possibly 6 to 8 weeks. Can't wait. Yeah, no, I'm down here in the cabin. That well, that goes without saying. Uh, I like being down out here, but like I said, there's just so much going on. I can't, you know, I can't watch the news anymore. I can't watch any more YouTube channels. I can't watch any more Instagram because everything is about what happened in Minneapolis. And nobody knows the truth. You know, we all make up our own minds, and every YouTube channel that I deal with is, you know, they love anytime something happens because they can, you know, they have wet dreams over this shit, you know, and talking about their opinions. Ah, okay. When I saw you put one up, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet today. You're like me, too much stuff to going on to do YouTube videos. Uh, but you know what? Here's my take on what happened to that woman in ICE. This is the way our country has become, and I think this is what's happening to us. Do you remember the outrage and uh, the protesting and everything when that Ukrainian woman was killed on uh, the subway by that illegal alien? Everybody had an opinion about that, and everybody argued about different things about that. Now, who remembers that case? What's going on with that case? What's happened lately? We forget about it. Now we've got a new one we have to deal with. Charlie Kirk lasted for, 3 weeks, where that consumed all of us, and just we all had to fight and put our opinion out there and tell everybody how stupid they were because I know what the truth is. Well, that passed by. Now they got a new one for us. And we're all hating each other. We're all arguing with each other. We're all fighting each other. And that's going to pass. In 6 weeks, we won't even remember this woman's name because it's not going to matter to us. That's the country we've become. This is how they keep us distracted. And we buy for it all the time. We buy it all the time. We fall for it all the time. I don't care that she was a paid agitator. I don't care if she lived there. I don't care. I have become so desensitized to all of this that I refuse to let myself care anymore. That's what has happened. Until we take a stand as a group, as a patriot nation, then I don't want to hear anymore. I don't care what ICE does. I don't care what paid agitators do. I'm done with it. I don't care about Venezuela. I don't care about Greenland. I don't care about Ukraine. We're just completely, all I care about is getting moved out here and trying to get things going here before that's no longer a viable option. I was talking to somebody last week. I don't even remember who. But I was thinking, you know what? Look at the Constitution. Read the Constitution, right? I don't see, it doesn't say anything about a Democratic Party or a Republican Party. The United States is a nation of one, not two. We're a nation of one. There were never two different parties. Two parties were formed to give us an illusion of choice, I think. That's it. And to drive us apart. If we could go back to the Constitution, I would be happy. Hey, Frank. Hey, thanks, buddy. I'll be putting some more out. I got a couple review videos I got to do, so that's going to piss everybody off when I do these review videos. But then I'll be getting back into the swing of things. Just get over this funk, get the new job started, and I've been good and busy on eBay trying to get that stuff doing. Post a little thing on Facebook every now and then. But every now and then you need a break from the whole social media thing. I got to get up and work on that roof, but Gary called. I talked to Gary this morning. He texted me to see if we were going to do the roof today. And it's like it's going to rain all day. The whole thing is a mud pit. That's the picture I put up for my live stream. I've got all puddles out here in the yard. You cannot walk anywhere without stepping in the mud, especially the back side of the house where all the septic work was done. And it's like, you just don't feel like doing anything then. Yeah, Gary had to cancel the Alabama trip too. He was going to go earlier this month, and again, we're old people. We have doctor's appointments. And then he remembered he had a doctor, one of his doctors had changed his appointment and made it earlier, so he couldn't go that week. He's thinking about going down on the 15th, but he has a dental appointment on the 14th, so it depends on how he's feeling then. But he's the same way. He's ready to get away from this for a couple of days, you know? That was the idea behind going down to Alabama's, just to get a break from all of this. Just get a break from everything. But I mean, I got the roof done. I mean, it's not leaking or anything. I don't have any water coming in now. Those winds really messed us up, but 50-mile-an-hour wind gust did a job. But I got all that patched up again, so we're not leaking anything with the rain. It's raining now. Yeah, Malachi's corner. This year is starting off bad for a lot of people. Yeah, 2 screws. Exactly. Oh man. So what else is happening? I don't even know what all is happening. Oh, are they playing tonight? Oh, yeah, of course they're playing tonight. I'll be shutting this down at 9 o'clock so I can turn the football games on. And that's the nice thing about being out here too. I can sit out here and watch the uh, football games and not worry about anything. Well, yes, this year is starting out bad. Which means it'll get better. I'm worried about tiny house. I mean, when they take out your mailbox on New Year's Day, that is a bad sign, I think. Either that means you're not getting any bad news, hopefully, or you're not even worth sending mail to anymore. One of those two. It's on Amazon. Okay, well, I gave up Prime membership. I was a Prime member of Amazon. I'm a seller on Amazon. I have a bookstore on Amazon. Right? And since the day they started their Prime memberships, I've been a member forever. Right? Last year, I canceled it because I saw where if you were getting EBT or if you were on Medicaid or you got Section 8 or any of that kind of stuff, you get it for a discounted price. You get it for like half. So I emailed them and I said, look, I'm a retired senior citizen veteran. Do I get a discount? When I started out, when I first signed up with Prime, I mean, they didn't have the Amazon Prime television back then, but it was like $49 a year. Then it got up to $159 a year. And I said, being a senior citizen on retired Social Security and a veteran, do I get a discount on my Prime membership? They said no. If you're getting SSI or if you're getting, disability or Section 8 or food stamps or something, then yes, you get it for half price. I said, well, you can kiss my ass then. And I gave it up. Go Steelers. Get out of here, Ernie. Get out of my room, damn it. I'm wearing my cowboy hat tomorrow. Did you see where Primanti's brothers in the Highlands there, Ernie? They banned cowboy hats tomorrow. But I remember back in the late 70s and the early 80s when I lived in Houston, the big rivalry was the Houston Oilers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Back in the day of the Steeler curtains and Terry Bradshaw, or the Steel Curtain and Terry Bradshaw. We had one of the best running backs ever, Bum Phillips as a coach, uh, Ken Stabler as a quarterback. It was Campbell, uh, running back. I mean, those were great games. Yep, that's football. Earl Campbell, yes, absolutely. But that's back when football was football and not gambling entertainment like it is today. You know, I still like to watch it, but I have come to realize that now it's as scripted, I think, as much as the WWE is. You know, the NFL has changed their whatever it's called. Now they're an entertainment company. Dan Pastorini. Okay, there's an Oiler fan bringing up them names. Yeah, that was a division uh, thing then. Hey, Sam. Yeah, they got their, yeah. I only enjoyed NASCAR and horse racing and sports. Never watch any now. I gave up on NASCAR. NASCAR lost to me as a fan. Hey, Bill, what's going on, bud? Welcome. Billy John, yep, Billy White Shoes Johnson. And it's all about the money. I'm waiting for them to put on skirts. Oh, yeah. And again, I mean, it's all, you know, you can't trust whether you actually watched a real, honest football game now. You can't trust that you did, that it wasn't influenced by when your biggest advertising partner is a online gambling, you know that shit ain't legit. I mean, I used to be the biggest NBA fan there was. When I lived in Houston, I had season tickets to the Houston Rockets. I loved the NBA, but now I can't even watch them anymore. I agree with you, DTW. I don't. Boxing is not corrupt yet. I mean, I'll watch the game because it's not entirely scripted, but whoever you can tell early on if they are following a certain script because of the penalty flags that are thrown. And then at the end of the game, you see some really sketchy shit to make sure certain scores are met because you're betting on over and unders and point spreads and shit. Oh, big time wrestling. And I used to love roller derby. Oh my god, that was so much fun to watch. And big time wrestling, I used to go to big time wrestling back in the day. Chief Wahoo McDaniels and Jake the Snake Roberts, the Junkyard Dog. I mean, all them guys back then. But yeah, man, roller derby was so great. Oh my gosh. And another thing I really enjoyed is minor league hockey. I've been to a couple of Pittsburgh Penguins games, but man, the Wheeling Nailers and the Cincinnati had the Ducks, minor league hockey. Those were fun games to watch. But I'm so disappointed in the NBA now. Gail, by the way, speaking of the NBA and the Houston Rockets, remember, I don't know if any of you remember Phi Slamma Jamma, Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon, uh, all of them. Um, the, one of her class, when she was going through the academy for the sheriff's department, she had to take a couple of law classes at the University of Houston. She was in a class with Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon, an evening class. And I was like, please get me autographs. Please get an autograph. And she wouldn't do it. Stares at MTV. Yeah. I saw Bruno Sammartino wrestle. Oh, wow, that was cool. Yeah, I went to some matches back in the day. Back when it was just regular big time wrestling. They were fun. Yes, you're right. A lot of those guys were. I mean, they were serious athletes, and the Bruno San Martinos and uh, uh, they were pre-steroid days too. They were actual. Oh, the Sheik, yeah, the Iron Sheik, yes. Yeah, that was a lot of fun watching them back in the day. Oh man, I need another Dr. Pepper. See, this is what I needed. I'm laughing now. I'm having a good time. We're talking about this stuff. This is good. This is why I like doing my live streams on here. Dusty Rose, remember the Von Erichs? All the Von Erichs from or outside of Dallas. Yeah, Dusty Rhodes before the WWE. Uh, before what's his name? Yep, de-stressing. That's right. That's why I keep politics out of this shit. I don't want to talk about no politics. Yeah, what happened to the Von Erichs? It was pretty bad. But they tried to do too much with it. They tried to become. I think a lot of it was on them and on their dad. Because didn't two or three of them commit suicide? I mean, it was really bad. Frank, I like listening to you, Joe. Get all my news. Oh, well, thank you, bud. I ain't got no news, man. That's one of the things I was complaining about, I think, before you got on here. Uh, uh, is I'm flooded with news. I can't take any more news right now. I need a break from it. The American Dream. I am risky, but yes. Dusty Rhodes was killer, man. And there's just so many. I've seen the doc on them. Yeah. Ernie Ladd wrestled from the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, Ernie Ladd. Yep. I'll go back to the beginning later. All right, Frank. Yeah, I just, I like to get into that, but I needed, again, like I said earlier, I've been off of here for a couple weeks. I haven't done any videos. I just need to take a break. There's so much going on with everything. It's hard take it all in. And everybody that has a YouTube channel or a Facebook page or an Instagram reel, they're the experts. They tell you everything you need to know. And I don't like that. I like to do all the research on my own. I don't listen to one person. And you just can't. George, oh, who was it? George Steele? Was that George Steele? Uh, I remember George the Animal. Was it George Steele? Steele, yeah, okay, yeah, I thought it was. See, you now remember, folks, I'm 68. It takes me a moment to recall some of this stuff. Um, yeah, yeah. A lot of the wrestlers back then, they had regular jobs too. I mean, I'm sure those wrestling matches. It's kind of like the back in when they had the boxing clubs and the gyms in the city. Those guys would box for $50. That would be the purse for the night for their boxing match. And I'm sure that back then with the big time wrestling, it's the same thing. They might get $100 or $200 for wrestling that night. Yeah, I loved the Junkyard Dog. I thought he was cool as shit. I remember Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, back before the WWE. Ted DiBiase was cool. Uh, they were awesome. Oh, Bobo Brazil. I forgot about him. Yeah. Arn Anderson. Oh, now you're getting back to the old ones. Arn Anderson was, I think, one of the original ones. Wow. Blanchard. Was it Tally? Telly? He wasn't as big personality. Yeah, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. Yep. Yeah, Junkyard Dog ruled. Ric Flair. Oh yeah, Ric Flair back in the day before the WWE. Yeah, I mean it was just. It was not. I think one of the things that was, it was just simply fun, right? It didn't have all the drama. It didn't have all the soap opera esque feel to it. They didn't have to like do all these storylines. It was just wrestlers having a good time. And you went to see them at the American Legion and the Moose Lodge and the Civic Centers. You know, they would come out in between the matches or when their match was done or whatever. There'd only be 150, 200 people in the audience. They come out. I shook Andre the Giant's hand, or I shook. I think it's. It's like he shook my finger. It's a whole hand took up my entire arm. I was just a young one then, but he was so nice. They were all nice. They all came out and did autographs and sat with people and talked with people waiting for their match. It was really good. I mean, I remember NASCAR back in the 70s, right? You could go to a NASCAR race. I've been to Bristol, Tennessee, when I was maybe one of 2,500 people there for the race before NASCAR hit it, in the 80s. Uh, but in the 70s, you could go to a NASCAR race and go down on the infield. All the drivers are in the garage working on cars. You could go and talk to people and talk to drivers, talk to you know, you didn't have to pay money and buy extra tickets. You bought one ticket and you could go anywhere you wanted to. You know, because it used to be that kind of entertainment, and then the money took over, and the corporation aspect of it took over. Oh, the bushwhackers from Australia, yes. Dale Earnhardt bought me a hot dog. Yeah, you used to be able to go down and mingle with everybody. That was the NASCAR that I liked back then. Now you have to buy 8 different tickets depending on where you want to go or what you want to see at the race. You know, to go to Talladega one time, I think in 78 or 79, the ticket to Talladega was like $32. You know? Oh yeah, I remember those. Yes, you could actually see. Yeah, you could touch the cars. You would walk in the garage. You just everybody just mingled around. And at race time, you know, you started going to your seats. Now you can't get close to them. There's no chance of doing any of that. So it just, you know, everything, it's like today, everything is so greed. It's all greed, you know? And everything costs too much money, too. I mean, that's part of, I think, why we're losing this attraction to it, because it used to be the NFL, the NBA, the NASCAR, wrestling. It was affordable for us. We could go see things and see the games and see the race. We could afford to do all that kind of stuff. We can't afford to do it now. We can't be a part of it. We only get to be a spectator of it if we pay some streaming service so we can watch it, right? I can't afford to go to a live game now or be a part of it. So they've taken it away from us. Right. We don't have it anymore. And now we don't even own any of our entertainment. How many DVDs have you bought in the last year? You know, or Blu-rays? None. You don't own it anymore. You rent it. Everything is rented and controlled by somebody else. I have about 250, 300 DVDs. I'm buying more because I want to own my stuff for later in life. I don't want to rent it and let Amazon change the movie and cut things out and then rent it to me to watch it. You know? Oh, yeah, we got to get some likes up in here. Thank you. I appreciate you bringing that up, Ernie. I didn't even look at it. But yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, no matter what you get, I mean, if you get cable or whatever, you don't own it. I like owning this stuff. Yeah, yeah. The cards, you got to buy subscriptions for everything. That if you want all those options, you got to pay for it. I'm telling you, it's back to you will own nothing and you will like it. That's where we're headed. You know. Hey, hi there. What's going on, dear? How are you? Glad you could make it to a live event. Oh no, Bob Weir died. Wow, what a trip. You know, speaking of paying, I saw this thing, John Deere now. It's like my tractor, my Kubota I bought. Um, I just can't believe, I got goosebumps. I can't believe Bob Weir died. Oh my goodness. Uh, when I bought my Kubota, for the warranty, it's like, you know, they want you to bring it in to have the oil changed and stuff like that. Well, I'm going to do my own. I do my own oil change and my own uh, fluid changes and stuff. Well, by doing it myself, I have to use Kubota branded oil and grease uh, and hydraulic fluid. I have to buy it from Kubota because if I take my tractor in under a warranty and have something replaced, they test the oil, they test the hydraulics, and if there's something in there that's not Kubota, then that voids your warranty, right? And I saw a thing uh, with John Deere now. This guy, the way their warranty works, this dude changed a spark plug in his tractor on his farm. The software shut his engine off because you're not allowed to change a spark plug in a John Deere tractor now. It cost him $500 to have a dealer come out and turn it back on so he could use his tractor. That's how bad stuff has gotten. But yeah, I love my 2006 Ford F-150. It ain't got a subscription to nothing but a gas station. Yeah, the Grateful Dead was awesome. One of my good friends here, I don't know, Ernie, he worked at uh, Bridge Street, so I don't know if you ever met Steve Block or not. We used to work with. Well, yeah, you were down there. I don't know. I don't know if you met Steve Block or not. Um, he's a huge, uh, huge Grateful Dead fan. In fact, he used to go for years and years. He was like a roadie. He just traveled with them everywhere. I mean, he's part of the Block Brothers family. So he had the money. He worked at Mail America just to get the insurance for his wife. But yeah, Steve Block, I'll bet he's really hurting now. Green Bay is now my team I want to cheer for. It's no longer the Cincinnati Bengals. I give up on them. I wish Cincinnati would hire John Harbaugh. You know what? I think Alex might have Amazon Prime. I'm going to look at my TV while we're chatting. I'm not trying to ignore you guys. Uh, I'm going to have to mute this, otherwise I'll kill my uh, live stream. Do I have Prime on here? No, I don't have it here. It must be at home. Dagnabbit. Nope. I don't have Prime set up out here. I have to get something out here. Yeah, that's what I was just saying, Teresa. They have fired John Harbaugh. I'd love for Cincinnati to hire him. I gave up the overplayed sports players over 25 years. I don't blame you at all, Haas. I know a lot of people hasn't been disappointed. Yeah, I'm going to get into that. I think once I move out here, Ernie, I'm going to get with you and figure out how to do that. So I don't have to worry about paying for any of this stuff. I don't want to pay for anything. Red Rooster, hey, what's up, man? Come on in and give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I don't spend a lot of money, Ernie. I don't think I pay for any subscriptions. Well, I do. I think Gail pays for a couple, but then Alex pays for some, and he's got friends. We all share. One person pays for each one and then shares them with everybody else. I like I like the TV being on in the background. I like the noise, I think. And there are some shows I like. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I hate TV. I like TV. You know, I gave up on all news channels. I don't watch any of them. I don't watch any ABC, NBC, CBS. I like old reruns and stuff. Now, I got high speed internet, fiber optic here at the cabin through Spectrum. It's 1 gigabyte service plus two cell phones for $100 a month. So I was happy with that. And at home in Wheeling, I switched from Xfinity over to fiber, and I get it's fast at home, and it was a lot cheaper. But I think too, I like TV after the dogs uh, have breakfast. You know, make them breakfast every morning. Well, then they sleep. My house, I got an old crappy house there in Wheeling, and the windows, it's like not even having windows. You can hear everything outside. I'll turn the TV on so they can sleep and they don't hear the noise on the outside. I might be in the dining room listing books on eBay while they're sleeping, and all the traffic, all the outside noise, the TV blocks that out. I mean, I don't have to have it on, but I like TV. I'm not gonna lie, you know. But like I say, I watch, you know, Law and Order, Big Bang Theory, all the old shit that is just on. I don't know. Yes, I found out the electric problem. The electric problem is an old house and it's wired weird. And it's just another breaker has gone bad. Which is another thing that just totally blew me away is the cost of a 20 amp breaker today. It's like, what the hell happened? How did everything go up, cost to where it cost so much for everything? See, I'm telling you, I think that's one of the reasons why I don't mind watching TV now, because I don't watch the news on it anymore. I will say this, I used to only watch Fox News. But Fox has turned into such a horrible news station now. There's only two types of people on Fox News anymore. None of them are journalists, right? You got the ones who are trying to push the books they've written, or you've got the ones who are hoping to become the next Fox cast member to get a cabinet post in the Trump administration. But I refuse to watch any of the news channels anymore, because I don't even want any news anymore. Well, folks, it's 9/11. I'm going to get off of here. It's been a lot of fun. I needed tonight. I appreciate everybody that's been in here and everybody's chatted with me and the chat's going on. It makes me feel better. I was in a bum mood, and this helps out. Like I said, I got a new vacuum sealer, which is cool. My food saver one broke. I've been needing a new one. I had some company send me one to do a review on. So I got to do that this weekend. I got a couple other things I got to do reviews on. But I'm going to get those out, and then, I'm going to go back to doing some like videos, just talking head videos too. I quit doing that to see if that would help my channel or hurt my channel. Where I just sit down and do a 15-minute video on random thoughts. I'm going to go back to doing some of those, because those are easy to do. But we then got money from the Western Water for destruction of the buildings in downtown next to the Civic Center, but yet want to raise the water bill 30. Oh yeah, I know. What happened to the electric bill, Ernie? I don't know. I don't know if yours did this. My house has a gas furnace. I don't use my electric for heat at all. Right? I was really upset that my previous electric bill was $140 some. It should have been, it used to be less than 100 during the winter, right? And I was bitching that it was $140 last month. This month's electric bill is $200. How is that possible? I don't use it. If I had an electric furnace, it would be different. But how did this electric bill jump $60 when during the winter we use less of it? I don't understand what is happening here. I just don't understand it at all. You can't win. You go out, everything you buy at home is, low energy. You get all the shit, all the new stuff, but the bills just keep going up and up and up and up. Yeah, I can't figure out where. I mean, I'm not using any more electric. That's the problem. You know? But the bills just keep going up. You cannot get away from it. My water bill has gone up. In the last 4 years, it's gone up 50% in the last 4 years. But yeah, I got to get off here. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. And thank you for joining me. I hope you have a a great week in case I don't get to see you beforehand. I'll let you know how the new job works out. Like I said, Thursday I go for some of the initial training, my first official day at work. I will chat with everybody later. Thank you all.